shot at 3334 in Evergreen. 422, you guys are okay over there?
This is a very fine line between a good stop with maybe a bust to it, or a perfectly legit guy in a complaint.
Here, a supervisor for the 23rd Judicial District Drug Task Force coaches another officer. He suggests they use the driver's claim that he has worked with police as an interpreter to convince him to consent to a search.
Play it off like he's one of us. Hey man, you'll do us a favor. If I get another search out of the way, I get to go where we want.
Is it okay to trick people into consenting to searches?
No, I don't believe so.
That's just one of the stories that raised questions about the tactics used by interstate interdiction agents looking for money to fund their agencies.
But that wasn't all. Our investigative team also spotted a supervisor for the 23rd Drug Task Force making other questionable stops.
And News Channel 5 investigators was watching from Sky 5 and had questions about this stop where the supervisor pulls over two Hispanic men in an SUV with Texas plates.
Hey, the reason why I stopped you was you're coming outside your lane of travel. I don't know if you're getting sleepy or you're not drinking, are you?
So what was the reason for the stop?
I think he said he crossed the line, weaved over.
Yet our camera had been tracking that same supervisor and captured the exact moment that he put on his brakes just as he was about to pass the Texas vehicle. As you can see, it's squarely between the lines. For almost 2 minutes, the interdiction vehicle trails the SUV, and while the officer himself is all over the road,
That car wasn't weaving.
The tape, it was not weaving. It did not cross the line. You're right.
He never weaved once, did he?
No, he stayed within his lane of traffic.
In the end, the DA over that task force decided not to investigate those tactics.
But then in 2014, there were troubling new allegations, and our chief investigative reporter Phil Williams was back on the case.
Ronnie and Lisa Hankins have no fears about traveling the freeways of Southern California. But after what happened in this traffic stop back in May, the interstates of Tennessee are another story.
Seemed like Nazi Germany. You got to have paperwork and proper authority to come through Tennessee.
The San Diego couple had been on the road for days after attending a family funeral in Virginia when they got stopped on the westbound side of I-40 in Dixon County.
And I told her, we're going to get pulled over.
It came right after they passed an interdiction agent with the 23rd Judicial District Drug Task Force.
What made you think he was going to stop you?
Because we had out-of-state license plates and my wife is Hispanic.
After separating her from her husband,
Come on, have a seat in my truck for me. It's safer there.
supposedly so he could write her a warning ticket for a traffic violation, the agent began repeatedly questioning her. Then he had a favor to ask.
We say there's not anything illegal in it. Do you mind if I search it today to make sure?
I just feel like he was harassing me, wanted me to say yes, he can search my car.
I'm asking you for permission to search your vehicle today. And you are well within your right to say no, and you can say yes. It's totally up to you whether you want to show cooperation or not.
So why not say yes?
I mean, there's no reason for him to say, to search my car.
I am asking you that because I do believe that you're not being honest with me.
Why wouldn't I be honest?
I don't know.
He died on May 1st.
The officer did not believe their story that they had been to a funeral for Ronnie's grandfather, even though a quick search of the internet would have proved they were telling the truth.
You have to give me a yes or no. I do need an answer so I can figure out whether I need a dog to go around it or not.
I was getting upset because, he kept on asking me over and over, and I said, you have no reason to search my car.
You run your dog.
That's when agents brought out a drug dog to sniff around their car.
If that dog does not hit, they don't get to search your car.
No. There's no probable cause.
But that's exactly what happened.
We ran a dog and the dog's alerted on the vehicle, so we're going to be searching it, okay? And whatever's in there, we're going to find in just a second.
Ronnie was furious.
There's never been any drugs in that vehicle, and never will be.
It turns out the man that the task force stopped knows a thing or two about law enforcement himself. He's a federal police officer here at the Marine Corps Air Station Miramar in San Diego.
You lying about the dog sticking on the car. The dog didn't stick on the car either. You got the drug task force. You out here harassing me and my wife when I'm just coming back from a funeral.
That's exactly how I expect most police officers to act. Okay.
And you're convinced they cued that dog to hit?
Yes. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. They cued that dog.
Take a look in slow motion. The dog passes an open window on the passenger side with no alert. The handler then leads the dog around the front. Then on the driver's side, he turns his body around and gestures towards the window. Suddenly the dog sits. That's the alert.
Just like a child. You can make a child say anything you want. You can make a dog do whatever you want too, if you train them the right way.
And you are convinced that's what happened here?
Yes.
Keep your line about the dog alert.
For almost an hour,
Man, it ought to be here.
the two agents searched the Hankins' belongings,
Ain't make it be here, ain't that what you told me, boy? Yeah.
even tearing apart part of the dash of Lisa's new car.
That really me off when he started like ripping everything out of my car.
You felt violated?
Yeah, I felt violated, and it just, you know, he didn't want to hear it.
And when Ronnie insisted there were no drugs, the agent confided he wasn't really expecting any.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Would you go in this direction? I would think you'd have drugs in the car. I think you're not large amount of money.
I knew right then they were looking for money to fund their operations.
And what made you think that?
Because they're not worried about the drugs. They're worried about the money.
Is that on marijuana? Yes.
When agents couldn't find anything, they wrote up this report to justify the dog's alert, saying they found marijuana debris on both the driver and passenger floorboards. We showed the report to the couple.
It's just them trying to cover their backside.
Ronnie noted that the drug dog had passed by the open passenger window and did not alert. The truth, they say, all agents saw inside the car was grass from the cemetery where they had buried Ronnie's grandfather.
It makes me angry that someone would attack my character, because not only that attacks my character, that could cost me my job.
As for her experience, Lisa Hankins said she knows one thing for sure.
I know I will never drive to Tennessee again. That's the last time.
The handler in that case emphatically denied he had cued his dog to alert on the Hankins car.
But coming up, Phil takes that video to one of the nation's top experts.
There's no doubt in your mind that that dog was cued to alert on that car?
Yes, correct.
He was already 9, 1.